From long-distance struggles to cultural clashes, the warning signs were there all along. From the moment Angela Deem and Michael Ilasami appeared together on 90 Day Fiancé, their relationship demanded attention. It was loud, emotional, unpredictable, and somehow impossible to ignore. Fans argued passionately about them. Some rooted for their love against all odds, while others warned that trouble was inevitable. Looking back now with the benefit of hindsight, one question feels unavoidable. Were Angela and Michael doomed from the start? The answer may lie in the red flags that were always there, hiding in plain sight. The first warning sign was intensity mistaken for passion. Angela and Michael's connection moved fast, fueled by dramatic declarations and constant reassurance. Every disagreement felt like a crisis, every reunion like a miracle. While intensity can feel exciting, it often masks instability. Instead of calm conversations, their relationship thrived on emotional extremes. Love became something to fight for rather than nurture, setting the tone for years of conflict. Another red flag was the imbalance of power. From the beginning, Angela held more control, financially, emotionally, and geographically. She made major decisions while Michael waited, adjusted, and compromised. Fans often framed this as strength or leadership, but over time it created a dynamic where Michael's voice struggled to carry equal weight. Relationships rarely survive when one partner feels they must constantly prove loyalty to earn trust. Trust itself was another fragile pillar. Rather than growing steadily, it was tested repeatedly. Angela's fear of betrayal lingered even during moments of peace, turning suspicion into a recurring theme. Michael, in turn, spent years defending his intentions rather than being seen for who he was. When trust becomes a test instead of a foundation, resentment quietly builds. Distance added fuel to an already fragile bond. Long-distance relationships require patience, communication, and mutual confidence. Angela and Michael had distance, but lacked the tools to manage it. Misunderstandings escalated quickly, often playing out publicly. Instead of resolving conflicts privately, their struggles became performances, amplifying emotions and leaving little room for healing. Cultural differences also played a larger role than many fans acknowledged. While differences can strengthen a relationship, they require mutual respect and curiosity. Too often, their cultural gap became a battleground rather than a bridge. Expectations clashed, traditions were questioned, and compromises felt one-sided. Without shared understanding, love began to feel like constant negotiation. Perhaps the most overlooked red flag was how rarely they seemed at peace together. Joyful moments existed, but they were often overshadowed by arguments, ultimatums, and emotional exhaustion. Love shouldn't feel like survival. Yet for Angela and Michael, happiness seemed temporary while conflict was constant. Fans normalized the chaos because it made for compelling television, ignoring how draining it must have been in real life. Another warning sign was the reliance on promises of a future rather than satisfaction in the present. Much of their relationship was built on someday. Someday they'd live together, someday things would calm down, someday trust would come easier. But a relationship can't survive solely on future hope when the present feels unbearable. Waiting became their reality, and waiting slowly turned into frustration. Communication was also deeply flawed. Instead of listening to understand, conversations often became battles to win. Hurt feelings were shouted rather than explored. Apologies were demanded rather than offered freely. Over time, this pattern taught both of them to brace for conflict instead of leaning into connection. One of the most painful red flags was how each began to lose themselves. Angela became hardened, always on guard. Michael became quieter, more cautious, and increasingly withdrawn. When a relationship changes who you are at your core, not in growth, but in self-protection, it's often a sign that something is wrong. Fans played a role too. Public opinion added pressure, rewarding dramatic behavior and discouraging vulnerability. Applause followed explosions, not calm resolution. Over time, the line between real emotion and expected performance blurred. Love became a storyline instead of a sanctuary. In the end, Angela and Michael's breakup didn't come from a single event. It was the result of years of unresolved issues, ignored boundaries, and red flags that were easier to excuse than confront. Their story serves as a reminder that love alone isn't enough. Respect, balance, trust, and peace matter just as much. Why were Angela and Michael doomed from the start? Because the warning signs weren't hidden, they were just drowned out by noise. And when red flags are ignored long enough, they don't disappear, they decide the ending. For fans looking back now, the lesson is clear. The strongest relationships aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones that feel safe, steady, and shared, something Angela and Michael sadly never truly had.